Hey, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. Today, our guest is Miss Rue Starr, singer-songwriter extraordinaire. She is part of what she calls the punctury movement. Just has some really good stuff going on. Just put out a new charity record called To Serve with Love for Feed the Children. Had a great time talking to her, so let's get on with this beast here on Smoked Meat. Hey, so how you doing today, Rue?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Any better, I would be twins. Oh, yeah. I've been looking forward to this. I haven't gotten a record in about a month, and I have been jonesing, and you're my third recording today, and I'm
Oh,
loving it.
wow. Well, three's my lucky number,
Hey,
so
it works.
yeah,
It definitely works. But,
absolutely.
you've been doing a lot of big things here recently. Yep. Um, been looking on the website some, and that's pretty cool. I know you've got a new video out, and we had talked about that just a little bit. You want to tell me a little bit about it? To Serve with
Sure,
Love?
sure. Well, To Serve with Love is a very, you know, deep-rooted, heartfelt song and movie to me.
Hmm.
And to be able to cover the song and make a music video to such a classic song is just giant in itself. So the project came along because there's somebody in Canada just like he's a he's like a Daddy Longlegs. Did you ever see that movie? Like, or you know how like you have a secret person that does things behind the scenes, um, like a really good Wizard of Oz who actually is behind the curtain and does things.
Yeah.
Zest is that to me. So Zest often puts me on like adventures and projects, and he's the executive producer behind it. So he asked me if I would cover the song To Sir with Love. And like I said, this song means a lot to me because I have a brother that I always call it my producer up in heaven.
Hmm.
And To Sir with Love was his favorite movie. And he loved that song. He even had the album. And I have his record album of To Sir with Love, and it even makes a cameo in the music video.
Nice.
So it all means a lot. And then Zest had an idea that he wanted to make every view of the video. He will donate 10 cents to Feed the Children, which is an amazing charity that literally feeds children throughout the world.
Yeah.
And they do more than that. They also like have a teachers department in their charity on their website where when teachers are always laying out money for supplies from their own pocket, Feed the Children has teacher stores where they can go and shop from them to get supplies for their classroom. So they do a lot more than just feed the children. They do all sorts of things helping children. And I can't think of a better thing than that. So when you watch our video, 10 cents is being donated to them. And it's just a beautiful win-win all around. And Zest is really the mastermind behind the project.
Very cool. Yeah, you say. I mean, I got a soft spot for kids to begin with, and I'm one of those people that I'm sure like everybody else. I don't think kids should have a bad memory ever. You
I
know,
agree.
and I know what it's like to be hungry. My dad died when I was 10, and my mom had never worked. She'd always been a stay-at-home mom, and I grew up
Right.
on Social Security and my dad's Army retirement. We were poor, and I know what it's like to be hungry, and it sucks, especially as a
Right.
kid. I mean, mom did the best she could, but you can only do so much. And any time we can help pay things forward and help out with anybody, especially kids, I mean, we do it because it's important. That's our next generations.
Exactly. And they're the future of the world. Exactly. Those are the ones who are going to be running this place. Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes
I
that's a
agree.
terrifying thing, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just awesome. I love it when people give back. It's a great thing.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
video's kind of fun too. I mean, we had a lot of trials and tribulations because I work with Monterey Records, who's in Baltimore, and the Roulettes is the band that made the song, and we went to Baltimore to record it, and that was all fine and dandy. We got lucky, made a great recording, and then Zest wanted us to make a music video, and the director that we used, his name is Christopher Martini, and he was tied up because he does a lot of documentaries and stuff. And we were ready to go into production in January of 2020. So yeah, we all know, right? So
Yeah.
he had Jimmy King, who happens to be David Bowie's photographer. Like the last pictures of Bowie that you see were
Mhm.
all done by Jimmy King, and he has years of experience. He was going to be the artistic director, and coming in from England to work on the project, like everything was all working out. And then we were set to shoot the video on March 21st, but that never happened. And then it was delayed to March 28th, and then April 20 something, and then after the pandemic. And when we realized that that was never going to happen, everyone then was scattered around the country. Maya, my keyboardist and backing vocalist, was in Utah. Tammy, our drummer, was in Georgia.
Mhm.
Christopher Martini was in Washington, D.C. Zest is in Canada. And then Ann, the bass player, was upstate New York, and I'm in New York City. So we
Mhm.
were everywhere. So we had to come up with a plan, which they did. And we did a virtual video, and that's how it all came together. So it was definitely starting one way and came out another way. So, we made
Yeah.
lemonade, let's say.
Yeah. Well, we're filming in Georgia now. What part of Georgia is she drummer in?
I think she's not from, but she's living there now. I'm pretty sure she's in Atlanta.
Okay, I am 20 miles south of Atlanta in Fayetteville.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So you're near my drummer, Tammy.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but for us all to just get there is not the easiest task, you know.
Yeah. I
But
haven't traveled much either.
I hope to film in Georgia someday, because that is the new Hollywood pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, within a 30-mile radius of my house, I have Tyler Perry Studios, where they film The Walking Dead's here. As a matter of fact,
Right.
I went to one of the sets the other night to let them know I was the supervisor that night, and I went and found out how late they were going to be filming so that none of my ambulances went by with a siren on to mess them up.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
and we've also
Yeah.
got Pinewood. So I mean,
I do a bunch of acting. I know a lot of people that have been working down there. I have a friend that's working at Tyler Perry Studios now, actually. He's
yeah,
in one of the shows.
yeah,
So, yeah, that's a dream for me to come down and work in Georgia. That would be amazing.
yeah. And we're elbow deep in this pandemic. I mean, like I say, I'm a full time paramedic. I do this to wash that away. And
Oh, wow.
I'm
Good for you.
I'm so ready for COVID to be over. I've been doing it 30 years and I've never had anything like this. It's
I
horrible.
know. It's true.
Have you
It's
gotten your
true.
shot?
I have not yet. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Have you gotten both?
Yeah, yep.
Wow, you're double dose.
Yeah, the first one, I just felt a little tired that night. But the second one, the day after, I started getting a little bit of a fever, and I felt
That's what
like
I
I had been
hear.
beaten with a sack of nickels. Oh man, I felt
Yeah.
so bad for a day or two. But after that, I
Yeah,
mean, it was
that's what
fine.
I keep hearing, that the second shot's not an easy one.
I'm waiting to find out my superpower though, because it's
Ha ha
coming.
ha ha.
I
Yeah.
I had two strokes 5 years ago, and they made it where I can fly. Now hear me out before you think I'm
Wow.
crazy. I haven't tried yet, so we just don't know, do we?
Wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing.
So I'm Schrodinger's superhero. We don't know that I can't
Cool.
fly until I can't fly.
So is smoked meat in that flying?
The name of the show actually is a homage to the Strokes. I had like I say, I had two of them, and I didn't know I had the first one. The second one, I was actually on the ambulance when I had it.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't get me physically. It got me. It messed up my brain some. It gave me a really nasty stutter. It put holes in my memory, and I have days where I cry. I had really bad mood swings, all kind of things like that. And I couldn't work for 4 months. So here I am at the house in the middle of the country. I can't go to work, but I can do everything I need to physically. And I was just going nuts. And I've got a friend who loves to hunt, but he doesn't like wild game. So he would kill a deer or a hog, and he would bring it to me. and me and my other friend would process it. And I mean, it's free meat. I'm out of work. I'm all for that. And we got tired of doing the same things with all of them. So I started learning to make different sausages and like pastrami, things like that. And that centered me and helped get me through all that. So
Wow,
as
look
an
at
homage,
that.
I named the show Smoked Meat.
That's pretty cool. So do you have a favorite?
I love my deer pastrami. Oh, I do a venison pastrami that'll make you smack your mom. Oh, it's
Wow.
awesome.
Wow. I have friends that have a restaurant here in Brooklyn called the Branded Saloon, and they have a smoker.
Hmm.
They smoke everything.
Oh,
They
it's
even smoke Coca-Cola. They smoke like one when they got that smoker,
hmm.
every single thing would be smoked. It was so funny. Smoked macaroni and cheese,
Oh
smoked,
yeah.
you name it.
I've
Smoked
smoked
strawberries.
cabbage. Smoked cabbage is really good.
That sounds good.
And
Yeah.
I've got
Everything
a
tastes good smoked.
burger that I do. It's a huge one. It's not a eat in one sitting burger. I use a
Right.
6-inch cake pan to make it in a round one, and I'll put some brown sugar in the bottom, pack it full of hamburger, poke little holes in it, and then pour some bourbon in there to soak into the meat. Put a little bit more brown sugar in it and smoke it for about 20 minutes, and then finish it off on the flat top to caramelize that brown sugar. And it is freaking amazing.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So what else do you make? Do you make is that your specialty?
Oh, I love smoking anything, but I can cook anything. I mean, I'll do homemade pastas, raviolis. When I do a lasagna, if I do it the way I feel like I should do it without cheating, it takes me all day because I'll make everything from scratch. And I'll grind the meat. I'll do the sauce from scratch. I'll do my pasta, of course. I even make the
Wow.
cheeses. And
Wow.
that's a big. I don't do that very often at all, but I love doing it when I do. I cook anything. I'll hand stretch ramen noodles. I mean, I don't care. I love doing it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Have you always been a cook?
I started cooking when I became a firefighter. When I was on the engine company, it was part of my duty to help cook lunch for the entire station. And there was a guy there named Charles Wilson who he was in charge of all the cooking because he was just great, and he taught me so much. And I love fixing stuff for people and watching them eat it and enjoy it. And I just
That's
love doing it.
wow. So you never know what's going to happen. Things lead to other things. That's the best way it happens.
Yeah, yeah. And
Y-
when we moved up here, I actually cooked over at Nick and Norman's. Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. He has a restaurant here in Sonoya, just about 10 miles from me. And I didn't want to be in medicine anymore because still had the effects of the strokes going on. So I went over there and cooked and enjoyed it.
Oh, that seems like the perfect match for you.
It was so cool. You could actually throw a rock and hit the set of Alexandria from the back door of the restaurant.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow. That's really cool. So are you from Georgia?
I am. Been here pretty much all my life.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's the weather there right now?
It is cold right now. Well, they're not nearly as cold as everybody else getting. I'm whining because it's 40 degrees, but
Right.
yeah, but it's not bad. A little rainy. I'm tired of rain,
Yeah.
but it's not ice, so I'm happy about it.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty cold here, but it's winter. It's not a big deal because we're used to it.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel bad for the places that aren't used to it that are getting bombarded because they just don't even know how to deal.
Could you
And
imagine being in Texas right now?
oh, I just spoke to my cousin out there and she finally got her power back, but she had no power for a few days and she's in Sugarland, Texas, which is right outside of Houston, and
Hmm.
it was bad. It was really scary,
Yeah.
scary bad. But she said it's bouncing back pretty quick,
Yeah.
which is a good thing.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it snows down here and people go nuts. I got off work the other morning, well, right before I was about to. I walked outside and it was little bitty flakes all over it. I'm like, oh shit, just kill me now. I'm going to be stuck at work because nobody's going to want to come in. Nobody's going to be able to drive. And
Right.
oh, just kill me. but it just lasted for a minute and stopped. So I was really happy on that one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a New Yorker, and we always get winter, so we always are prepared. But I lived in D.C. for a few years. I even lived in Philly, and I'll tell you, they never were prepared for snow, and they got it every single year. They would get blasted like snowstorms, like normal snowstorms, and they would never be ready for them. They'd always say that they didn't know how to deal with it. And I, at the time, had a Ford Bronco, like the old ones,
Uh
like a
huh.
Jeep looking one. So I had four-wheel drive. So I always was the one that could drive around because I was like the New Yorker with a Jeep. And I wasn't afraid of it. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, people acted like it was just like unable to do anything. But it wasn't. It was just regular snow.
Yeah. Oh, about 7 years ago, we got a really good snowstorm down here, and I was working in Augusta then, and I was actually at work an entire week, 24/7 for that week because people couldn't get to work, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a nightmare. I did not like that. I liked the check I got for that week, but
Oh,
that's
that's
about it.
good. That's good. So do you think this COVID is going to end?
I I don't think it'll ever end. I think it'll normalize.
Right. We'll learn how to live with it.
Yeah.
That's what I feel we're doing
If
without even realizing it.
if everyone would just do what they're supposed to, do what you were taught in kindergarten. Wash your
Right.
hands. Don't pick your nose. Don't touch your face. Don't touch other
Yeah.
people. Don't cough
Yeah.
on nobody.
Exactly.
But
Simple,
nobody.
simple stuff.
And everybody talks about the masks. The mask isn't to keep me from getting it. The mask is to keep you from getting it from me.
Exactly.
And everybody thinks, oh, they're violating our rights with these masks. They're not. They're trying to stop a fucking plague.
Exactly. 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 I know. It's like not even a big deal. It's just so silly that it got so blown out. But
Yeah.
anyway, um, I like to stay creative and just keep moving in a positive way because if I go down that rabbit hole, forget it. I'd
Oh,
rather
yeah.
just go down the other one. I always say I'm an optimist or I live in total delusion. So I prefer the delusion. It
E-
helps me.
Exactly. And,
Yes, definitely.
when this thing started, the lockdowns and everything, and it started, we figured out, oh, this is going to be serious. I actually I got a big old queen size air mattress. I put it down here in my studio, and I lived in my studio for 2 months away from my wife and kids. I'd go upstairs to eat. That's about it. Just because I didn't know
Yeah.
if I'd be able to give it to them or not because we were
Right, because you
transporting a
do
lot of
paramedic.
people.
Right.
And if I got exposed to somebody later on in it that I knew had it, even though I wear all my stuff, that's
Right.
still dangerous. I would come down here and oh man, that I did a lot of editing and a lot of recording, and I love my studio, but I got so sick of it down here. Oh,
Yeah. No, at the beginning, nobody knew what to expect and what to think. Um, I lost a very dear friend at the beginning on March 29th, my dear friend Alan Merrill. Um, and he was doing gigs the week before, but
yeah,
it was such chaos at the very beginning here. It was like a an explosion of fear and crazy. It was just out of control in the beginning days and the beginning weeks.
yeah.
And Alan is the man who wrote the song "I Love Rock and Roll."
I love that song.
Yeah, he wrote it. He is
Okay.
the real culprit who wrote that song. If you Google him, Alan Merrill, you will see he is the writer of that song. She did not write it,
Hmm.
and it's a great song. I mean, a lot of people covered it, but and give him credit. And he it was like he always called me his little sister, and it just breaks my heart. His birthday is tomorrow,
Hmm.
and last year, I mean, I was texting with him on his birthday, and I have another real brother who passed away, who I told you is my producer from up above.
Hmm.
His birthday was February 15th. So their two birthdays are this week, and it's just like
Yeah, that's
so
that's a little
bizarre.
rough. Yeah.
It's just like it made it very real early for me when he passed away because the hospitals were just freaking out. I feel like it's not like that in New York anyway now.
Yeah.
We got it at the beginning so bad that we kind of like, I don't know, we took it seriously, but I know I did because I knew somebody. But like here, it's been pretty closed ever since the beginning. I mean, they're finally letting people go indoor dining 25%. Like
Yeah.
after it, they teased them with it and then they pulled it away and now they're letting them again. And it's just like, I feel so bad for the restaurants and the bars and businesses that are closed everywhere. It's just so
Yeah.
bizarre. I just really hope that it does normalize and people do get their feet back on the ground. I fortunately, I don't know, I'm chugging along here and I'm still in my apartment. I still get little bits of things and things keep me going, and I started a
Yeah.
pandemic art collection which I had no intention of doing. I just started drawing on Sunday, March 15th, not knowing that this was going to happen.
Hmm.
And today I just did like drawing 388.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I've been drawing one picture a day, and they're all from people's suggestions. So if
Hmm.
you have a suggestion for me to draw something, let me know because I have to draw a picture a day. I'm like a stickler like that. When I make a commitment, forget it. I can't uncommit myself. I keep
Ah.
waiting for the day that I don't have to draw another picture. But as long as we're in pandemic,
Hmm.
I have to do my daily drawing, and um, it's pretty crazy. But like I said, there's 388. So I would never know the day count if I wasn't doing a daily drawing.
Uh-huh.
My Instagram, I always say, got hijacked by my pandemic art collection
Well,
because,
here is your idea for the day: a polar bear playing a Telecaster,
oh, okay, I'm gonna write it down because I will forget.
and the,
I have a list, so I'm gonna add a polar bear playing a Telecaster. You
yep,
got it. All right, and that's from
yep,
Brad Pittman, right?
yep,
All right,
yep.
I
'Cause
got you.
on your
All
website,
right,
what's that guitar you're playing? I'm digging it.
who, me?
Yeah.
In the video?
Well, on the website, the
Which website are you looking at?
uh, look at
The
yours.
roulette?
Yeah, ruin who?
Oh, Ruin Who?
Yeah,
Is it a pink guitar? It depends what
that's
you're looking
wood
at.
grain or wood finish, just regular wood finish. Looks like a
Hmm.
hollow body.
I need to see which place you're looking because it's at Ruin Who. You sure?
Yeah,
Is it on Facebook or regular?
regular.
Like Ruin Who website?
Yeah, yeah, ruinwho.com.
And is it like the pictures?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Is it? It's not pink. Is
yeah. It's like coffee table color, like brown.
or it might look brown.
Oh yeah,
Does it have like the pretty little curly
it
things cut
does.
out?
Yep.
That's a Daisy Rock. I'm actually sponsored by Daisy Rock Guitars,
Okay.
and that's actually a pink guitar. It
Okay.
might it might look um, it might look brown, but it's not. It's pink glitter.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I just picked up the guitar again after a couple of years, and I told
am
my
I
wife
sitting in a chair?
uh I think one of them was. Let me see, because I found a better picture of the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really pink glitter, that guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a Daisy Rock. Um, it looks really good. I'm so grateful to Daisy Rock guitars. I have quite a few of them, and they're all really cute.
Mm.
They're cute guitars. They
Yeah.
look good, and I love the glittery ones. I mean, what's not to like with glitter? Except someone told me the other day that I should take away my glitter, take away my sunglasses, take away my makeup, and then I can play on their show.
No, be you.
It was like, oh, really? So I should change and then be you and then be okay. So I said, no, thanks. I'll just talk to smoked meat instead.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause, I've
Exactly.
always wanted to be able to play, but I've always picked them up and just played a little bit here and there. Just not. I'm horrible at it.
Oh, well, you know what? I call myself a professional beginner,
Hmm.
and I teach beginner guitar. That's like one of my jobs in real life.
Hmm.
I teach beginner guitar literally. You got to, when you get better, then you have to move on, because
Hmm.
I'm a professional beginner, and I am grateful to be that. And I can teach any. I get a lot of kids, of course, but I do grown-ups too.
Yeah.
And I can simplify any song and make it super easy, because my whole point is to make you want to play what you're practicing
Hmm.
rather than, anything else. So I'm kind of like Guitar for Dummies.
Hmm.
I can dummy any song you want and make it really fun to play. And um you can play, trust me.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
you
Well,
can.
well, I got rid of my guitars a while back, and I just around Christmas time I walked in the Guitar Center because that place is the devil, by the way.
Yes.
And I love a telly, and I looked at their used stuff, and I've always wanted a thin line, and they had a thin line telly hanging there. It was a Squire, and it's mahogany, and I'm like, man, I got to have this thing. And I told my wife about it. She handed me the card and said, go in and get it. Merry Christmas. Well, thank you. And I've decided I'm actually going to learn to play because, I mean, through the show, I've got access to guitar royalty. I mean, first, Rue Starr. I mean, really?
Ha ha ha.
Hello? But I mean,
Yes.
Kenny Olson, Scott Page, freaking George Pahone. If I can't learn to play the guitar, I need to be beaten with it.
Oh, I
And
hate when people do that.
and I'm,
I hate when people destroy their instruments at the end of shows.
oh yeah,
Donate it,
I remember back
give
in
it
the
to feed
'80s
the
and late '70s,
children.
that was a huge thing, and I'm like,
I know, but people
really?
still do it. It's like I don't know. That never worked in my mind.
Yeah,
I'm more of like, pass it on, like don't just trash it. So I know, but
yeah,
I guess it must be fun to do that and get your aggression out, but I'm sure you could use something else.
exactly. Have you ever had one just speak to you? One that it was your
Oh,
go-to.
absolutely. Absolutely. Of course.
It's funny. I bought one years ago from a pawn shop made by a company called AXL,
Mhm.
and the finish on it was like the old knotty wormwood, and it was a cheap. I mean, I paid $100 for this thing. It was a cheap guitar, but it had the perfect sound. It played perfect. I mean, I loved this thing,
I know exactly what you
and
mean.
I don't remember why I even got rid of it. But I've been looking for another one for years and haven't found one. And I got this one, and when I picked it up, it just had that same feel. It talked to me. It said, "Take me on home, Dad." And of course, Squire, it's Fender, but they have other people make them for them. And I said, I'm gonna look up the serial number and see how old this guitar is. It's 12 years old, and it's made by AXL. I'm like,
Huh.
that's fate. That is
Yeah,
fate.
absolutely. Oh, I believe in that all the time. I always say get the one that's talking to you.
Yeah,
I totally understand what you're talking about.
yeah,
I feel like that was a lot of things.
yep. And it's funny, I always go with my gut. And me and my wife
Yeah.
were looking for houses, and we saw one in Jackson, Georgia, which is out in the country. It's away from us a little bit, but it was a fixer upper definitely. But we're not afraid of that. We can deal with that. It's lipstick and rouge. And we went into this place, and it needed a lot of work, and there was still people living there, and you could tell they kind of were doing things to make it where people didn't want to buy the house. And
Oh,
we loved it. Our hearts said yes because, I mean, my kids liked it, my wife liked it, I liked it. But my gut said, no, pass on this one.
hmm.
And hers did too, and we followed our gut. And my wife, she runs a nursing home, and her maintenance guy does work on the side for people. And the owner actually called him and said, look, I've not been in this house in 3 years. I've been renting it. I don't live here, but I came home to check on it. And holy crap. And he was telling all the problems he was having with it. And my maintenance guy, or her maintenance guy, said, "No, I'm not even going there. I've heard about that house. I'm not doing it." And we dodged
Wow.
that bullet because we almost bought it. It was a really good price, but it would cost so much to fix and be such a pain. But we found a place that's perfect for us. It's almost 11 acres of land. It butts up to a lake, and
Wow.
It was just kind of sitting there waiting on us. So
Wow, it sounds like Tara.
we close on the 31st of March. I'm so ready.
Congratulate. Oh boy.
And
Wow.
it's got a pavilion with a kitchen
Wow.
hooked onto it. So, oh yeah. I have a little outbuilding. It was like 15 by 15 for my studio. I was like, yeah, this is going to work for me.
Wow. Congratulations.
But
That
yeah,
sounds beautiful. That sounds like a farm or a ranch or something.
yeah. I mean, it's out in the country, and I'm happy about that because I've grew up in the country. If you can't tell by my voice, um, and when we moved up here, I'm in a neighborhood where I can throw a rock and hit my neighbor, and I hate that.
Right.
My old
So,
driveway was 200 feet shy of half a mile.
wow.
Yeah,
So, are you near Gone with the Wind land?
kinda. You hear him talk about Jonesboro Road on the movie and in the book. Um,
Probably.
I'm about 7 miles from Jonesboro Road.
Oh my God, you're that close?
Yeah,
Wow. To Tara?
yeah, yes. Where
Wow.
they filmed and everything isn't real far away.
Wow.
Yep,
That's amazing.
yep. And
Wow.
where I'm at also, another movie classic was filmed, Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, that is definitely a classic.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite movies, and it was all filmed within 30 miles of my house.
Wow. Burt Reynolds?
Yep,
Wow.
yep.
That's
And
crazy.
it's so funny. I was coming home from work one morning, and the way I where I come home from, I passed by Atlanta Motor Speedway, and of course that's where they wound up at the end of the movie. But they were having this thing for the 40th anniversary of the movie called what was it? It was the Bandit Run and the Snowman Run. Basically, Trans Ams from all over the country came in and met there, and they were all going to drive up to the festival in Jonesboro that weekend. And of course, big trucks painted like snowmans came up and did that same thing. So the morning they were supposed to come in the night before, I said, I'm going to drive past the racetrack and see if they're out there, if I can see them. And as I passed by, I was in my daughter's little Mitsubishi Outlander. And of course, me being the redneck that I am, was blasting eastbound and down as loud as I could in that poor little car. And a deputy turned around behind me and turned on his lights. And for that fleeting second, I thought, I'm on the road they were chasing the bandit on. I'm listening to Eastbound and Down. I wonder if I can take him. And then I got to thinking, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. Just don't even run from this cop. And he just passed me. He didn't even care about me. But for that,
Oh, don't you love when that
oh, I
happens?
do.
Oh my God, that happened to us not that long ago. Yeah, like a week or two ago. We were in a car driving, and all of a sudden it was behind us, and I'm just like, we didn't even do anything. But I get so scared, and we pull over, and he drove right by us. It
Yeah,
was like, oh my gosh, that is like the best feeling. I
it
don't know if there's
is.
a better feeling than that.
Yeah, and what's so funny is, where I work at, I know all the police. I work closely with everybody. And one can
Right?
get behind me in my car, and I still get nervous,
Yeah, I
knowing
know.
I'm not going to get a ticket, but I still
I
just
used to be
get
so
nervous.
good at talking myself out of tickets when I was a kid. I was great at it. And now it's just like, whatever. I don't have, it wasn't the same back then.
Mm-mm. No.
You really could just, I mean, I was great at it. I used to just like, blah, blah, blah. Now I don't want to say boo. I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
I once got pulled over with my kids, and I just was like, okay, just give me the ticket. And when we left, my kids were yelling at me like, "Ma, you said you used to get out of the why'd you do that?" They were like yelling at me for taking the ticket.
Yeah. I mean, 20 years ago, if you had your kids in the car, you could look at one of them and say, cough and don't talk. I'm taking him to the
Right?
hospital, and the cop would let you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's
now
not
they'll
the same.
now they'll follow you. I'm like crap.
Yeah, no, and nothing, everything wasn't computerized then. It was just
Hmm.
like they didn't have that, They couldn't like just put your name in the. It's just not the same. It's just I would rather just have
Yeah.
them drive by me like what would just happened. It's like much better
Yeah.
like that.
I miss the 70s and the 80s so bad.
I'm just grateful I was in them.
Oh man, I was a kid in the '70s and I was a teenager in the '80s, and both of them were
Yeah,
so awesome.
I know. We're lucky we had those decades.
Yeah. And I saw something the other day they have brought back from the '70s, and I'm gonna buy one. It's like $60, but I'm still gonna buy it. The Evil Knievel stunt cycle.
My daughter has Evil Knievel's birthday.
Oh man,
Yeah, October 17th. I know that it's his birthday because it's my daughter's birthday.
nice.
Yep. Yeah, you got to get
Yeah,
it.
because that was one of my favorite things growing up. I mean, you turn that little thing and get it going fast, and you just take off and jump anything and land on the wheels, and that was so cool.
Yes, and her name is Eva Lynn, so we always call her Evil Knievel.
Nice,
Yeah, exactly. Uh huh.
nice.
I know.
Yeah.
My other daughter's name is Harley Annabelle.
Uh
So
huh.
she's like leather and lace. So I got both. I mean, I'm really lucky. I have like the two best kids in the world to
Oh,
me.
I got the two
Oh,
best
yeah.
ones.
Of course you do. Exactly.
I don't
I
know.
know. Isn't it great like that?
I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to figure out how they hoodooed me recently. My
Uh
youngest one, she'll be 18 next month, and my oldest one's
huh.
20, and they both
Uh-huh.
live here with us because of the pandemic and all that good
Right.
stuff. And my youngest one, about 6 months ago, started planting a seed of wanting a miniature pig with my wife. Well, my wife is all about some little miniature animals. And about 2 months ago, I'm laying in bed watching TV with my wife, and she starts talking about these pigs, and I wonder if anybody in Georgia breeds those. And of course, I'm laying there, got my iPad next to me. I pick it up. Hey, there's a place right above Commerce that has them. And I'm looking. I'm like, oh look, this one's for sale. Next thing you know, that weekend I'm driving 2 hours to buy a pig, and there's a pig in my house now.
So you have a baby pig?
Yes, I
Aw.
have. It's a Juliana, and it's one that actually stays small.
Oh,
And
wow. So it's like a teacup pig.
yeah, yeah, and I still haven't figured out how the hell I got talked into buying a pig.
Well, there is one in my neighborhood that gets walked like a dog, but it's pretty big.
They,
And
they've
people have to do double takes like when you realize it's a pig.
they've bought a
But
harness for it, and
yeah.
they just bought it a red flannel shirt with a hood.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
they had to cut the sleeves off because the
Well, you
sleeves were
better
too
not
long.
smoke it.
No, it's not going to be big enough to smoke.
I
No,
know.
he's going to be the. I think he's going to make the show mascot though. Once I get him sit still for a good picture.
Oh, is that adorable?
Oh
That's
yeah,
precious.
yeah. But his name is
Wow.
Gus, and he is interesting to say the least. But he was
Well, you
potty
have a lot of
trained.
land.
Yeah, yeah. He's potty trained from the beginning though. That was really cool.
Yeah, they're supposedly very smart.
Yeah, yeah. My
Yeah.
wife said he threw a tantrum while I was at work the other night. We've got him in a thing in the corner of the living room. You've seen the little travel play things you can buy for kids, like a almost
Yes.
like a little fence.
Oh, how cute.
We've got that, and he's figured out if he's hungry or wants our attention, he'll get his nose up under it and raise it up about 6 inches and drop it.
Wow.
And she said he threw a tantrum the other night because he wanted a snack and was just would not stop. And they finally just ignored him and he quit. And before they
Wow.
went to bed, they gave him a snack. But she said, yeah, if we'd have given him one, he'd do that constantly. I'm like, exactly. Thank you for not giving the pig a snack.
Oh gosh, they're so smart. I love
Yeah.
animals. I
Oh,
do. I have a dog and a cat, and I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have them during this pandemic.
yeah. We've got a dog still. We had two of them. One of them was a 18-year-old teacup poodle, and he died
Oh,
a couple of months ago. And we've got a 20-year-old Jack Russell.
oh, good for you. You hear that, Jaja? My dog's name is Jaja Gabon.
Nice. I,
Yeah, she's a little Yorkie, and I always like make her hear when I hear dogs are that old. Did you hear that, Josh? 18 and 20. I love it.
yep. And
Oh,
my
that's
dog's name is
great.
Annabelle.
Oh, that's my daughter's middle name,
Yep.
Harley Annabelle. I always call her Leather and Lace.
Nice.
Yep, yep. And the
Yeah.
other one's Evil Knievel. Eva. Uh-huh.
Nice.
Yep. I
Yeah.
know. They are everything. I know. It's really that's what I mean. You got to count your blessings during this time because it's just I don't know. I
Yeah.
hope the world has a turn for the good, but
Oh, me
it's
too. And
I do too.
people that think
It's
this thing's going away anytime soon, There, it's
To,
not.
yeah,
Not.
I feel like it's not either. And as long as we can keep it, somewhat livable,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we can do. I
Yeah.
mean, jobs are coming back slowly, I feel like, but so many businesses could not hold on.
Yeah.
And there's so many empty places now in the city. If you go out of the city, a lot of places are still open, but like in Manhattan where the rents are so high, they tried for months to keep paying rent and then they just had to throw it in. And it's like and then the restaurants were not allowed to be open and there was no dining. Then people built restaurants like out on the street. You were allowed to do outdoor dining. So like
Hmm.
the streets are loaded with these like I don't even know what they're called, but like
Yeah.
these fixtures for outdoor dining. And it's like now they finally are letting them go indoors again, but only 25%. And then there's curfews. Like it was like you had to be closed by 10. They just lifted it to 11. It's like, I don't even understand that. Why are there curfews? Like, does COVID come out at night? Like, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, they just are screwing with these poor businesses. And
Yeah.
that's just heartbreaking for me.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
a lot of people are losing, and it sucks because I mean, we talk
and then
about
there's,
performers.
yeah,
You're losing money because you can't go out and do live shows right now. Think
exactly.
of the sound
Exactly.
people, the light people, all the
Oh,
stage
yeah.
guys, and all that. Man, I'm
Oh,
feeling for them
yeah.
because, man,
Oh, no. Live venues are
yeah.
effed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word,
You can
but
say any word you want to because I said it a
okay.
while ago.
Live venues are fucked. They're
Hmm.
so fucked. And bars, like, they have to be a bar to be open, they said you have to serve food. So,
Hmm.
like, bars that never had food before are now having to have food so they can be open. And
Yeah.
it's like, um, I mean, some are being creative and figuring things out. Like, but a lot aren't, and it's just so painful. But no live venues. I've only seen. I mean, the Roulettes is a band. I've played with a bunch of different people, and one of my bands I have not seen at all throughout this entire time. The Roulettes I have not seen because we're scattered around the country, but at least we got to do this project and we were Zooming together and had some kind of connection. But my one other band, the Rude Ones is the name. I got to see them twice because we got to make a music video this summer too, and we filmed on a rooftop, and
Hmm.
that was just a pandemic miracle.
Yeah.
And then we actually had a gig in a park in Brooklyn too, which was an amazing pandemic miracle as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't seen them. But we have a gig coming up on March 8th, actually. And that's going to be, it's for International Women's Day. And this woman named Val Kinsler has been doing this event since 2014. So I've played in quite a few of them. The last one last year I played at, which was March 8th. It was right before everything shut down and we didn't even know it was coming. And it was like a glorious day. It was such an amazing event and it was so fun. Like that's probably the last band show I had pre-pandemic. I did one solo show then March 10th
Hmm.
and that was it. But this is a gig that she's negotiating with a venue called Pete's Candy Store in Brooklyn because they keep saying we can do it, but it has to be like the band is in and can play, and then it's going to be like streaming live, and
Hmm.
then the band has to leave. So it's all the logistics of like how many people are allowed in the venue at the same time to perform and leave. It's not even an audience or anything,
Yeah.
but like people are so trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I might be seeing my band in a couple weeks one more time for the third time during this entire pandemic.
Well,
It's
I just
crazy.
I just interviewed Jeff, the founder of Fan Room, and I like the fact they've thought outside the box and they have the meet and greets and things like that on there. I think that's going to be a good way for things to start going a little bit. Because,
Yeah,
you got Leland Sklar coming up on there here soon. And Lee, I don't know if you met Lee or not. Lee is so awesome. He
that's
is the
cool.
most fun guy and has played with everybody.
Right.
Because it's funny. I interviewed a lot of musicians, and I don't normally interview the front man. The name everybody knows. And when Eileen told
Right.
me, you've got Leland Sklar coming on this day, I'm sitting there thinking, I got to look this guy up. I don't know who Leland Sklar is. And I looked him up. I'm like, I know everything this guy's ever played. Holy shit, this is going to be great. And he is such an awesome guy. But
That's great.
it's funny. I interview people, you know their work, but you may not know their name. And I
Right.
get so much out of that because it's so much fun.
Yeah.
When I interviewed Kenny Aronoff, two of my favorite drum fills in the world were from Jack and Diane and from Blaze of Glory. And he sang both of those drum fills to me on my show. And I'm getting goosebumps on my arms thinking about it now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That
That's
was
so
so cool.
cool.
I'm like, who the hell gets this? This is awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
That is awesome.
then I asked him to send me
Wow.
something from a wall of fame. He signed a drum head and a pair of sticks and sent to me to hang on the wall of my studio, which is amazing.
Aw,
So,
that's
yeah.
really cool. That's really nice. That's just a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's the people. It's all the people. I mean, like they say, it takes a village.
Yeah.
It's always so many that go into everything. It's not just about uh, no man is an island. I love how like every cliche always like makes sense to me,
Yeah.
I know. They all came from somewhere and they all really are cool. I love them. I love those little one-liners.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a billion of those.
Yeah, because they're true.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. Exactly. Exactly. So when's your birthday?
November 13th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
November 13th. So it happens on a Friday sometimes.
It does.
That's
It
cool. I
does.
love Friday the 13th.
I do too, but I'm the most superstitious person in the world. I believe in full
Yeah.
moons.
Yeah.
Hardcore, because I can tell if a moon's totally full or if it's got a little corner off or what, because people
Oh,
get stupid on a full moon.
they do. It's true.
I have delivered
It's
more
true.
babies on full moons than I have without it. Um, and you
It's
name it, the full moon brings it out.
it's true. I agree. I
Yeah,
totally agree. See, that's what I mean because that's one of those things.
yeah.
That's exactly what it's like. It's not made up. Like there's a truth to those things because otherwise, why would it be?
My partner thinks I'm crazy because I'm so superstitious. One of the first times we worked together, we had a patient that he said, "Yeah, I want to go to the hospital. Let me put on some shoes." And he went to put his left shoe on first, and I had a fit. I said, "No, don't do that." He's like, "Why?" I said, "It's bad luck. You're supposed to put your right shoe on first."
Huh, I
And my
never knew
partner just
that.
looked at me like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah,
I
it
never.
is." And I cannot put my left shoe on first to save my life. I cannot make myself do it.
I never knew that. Now you're going to make me crazy.
Yep.
God,
Never
thanks a
sweep under
lot.
somebody's feet. You sweep under somebody's feet, they're going to jail. I've got 10 million of them. It drives my wife insane. My
I'm
kids
sure it
think I'm an
does.
idiot because of it.
So you don't walk under any ladders, I take
Oh,
it.
hell no. What do I have, a death wish? Am
But
I?
I have a black cat. I hate to tell you.
I've got a friend that's got like six of them. He collects them. If he sees one somewhere that's just a stray or whatever, he'll get it. And oh man, he loves them.
I've had a black cat. This is not even my first black cat. Exactly. I love black cats.
No, 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 no.
That's funny.
I would
Hmm.
have another stroke if I came to your house.
Oh gosh, no, no, no,
Oh
no,
no,
no
black
strokes
cats.
allowed.
Uh,
Well, I'm glad you recovered so well.
yeah, it was a long road. It ended my EMS career for a good while, and I came up here and I cooked, and I couldn't make the money I needed to. And luckily, my wife's got a really good job, and she's the breadwinner. I have no shame in that at all. She's worked for it. But
That's awesome.
the manager, if we started slowing down some, he would cut somebody. And me being the new guy, of course, I got cut every time. And I said,
Mm.
I got to get back in medicine. I can't afford this. And I went to the hospital, a county over, and they were using paramedics as what they call ER techs, where basically I go in, start IVs, and do EKGs, little things like that. And I said, okay, well, I'll give this a shot. And it was great. I've always worked night shifts, and my team there, they knew my situation. They knew all my ticks. Uh, I mean, there's a couple of times where I'll get real antsy sometimes, and I got to go. And they understood that, and instead of me just having to say, okay, I got to go, and having to do sick time and get points on me and all that stuff. They can do what's called flexing you, where, okay, we've got too many people tonight. We're going to cut somebody. And they would
Right.
just put me down as being flexed. And they worked with me on that. And they watched out for me really, really well. And our paramedics and EMTs on the ambulance service, took me in as family right from the get go on that. And because of them, I'm back on an ambulance. I've been back on for about a year and a half, and I'm already an officer. I just made lieutenant. So
Wow,
that's a
that's amazing.
that's a wonderful thing.
That's really cool. That's great. So do you have any like favorite television shows about EMTs that are better than others?
I despise them. I love MASH.
Yeah.
I
MASH was good.
despise them because everybody on the TV shows is always either a big hero, and it's just no. If people knew what we do every day for
Yeah.
every one of those TV calls, you get 100 people who their back's been hurting for 4 weeks and it's 4 in the morning and they just need to go to the hospital now.
Right.
Or the person who you've picked up 6 times in the last 8 shifts because they make something up and they're homeless. They want a place to sleep
Yeah.
pretty much, and
Yeah.
you know
Is there a lot of homeless where you are?
not a lot, but we've still got them.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've noticed is meth has taken over.
Yeah.
Oh man, we had a couple of people come in one night or a couple of nights that were on that Flocka. Have you seen that?
See what?
The Flocka.
Flocka?
Yes. Oh, that shit is a nightmare. There was a video of a guy in Florida years ago that was on it that was basically sitting there eating somebody.
Oh yeah. What didn't they say that was like bath salts or something?
It's like bath salts on steroids.
Wow.
It's horrible, and I'm so glad that that didn't take root here. Oh man, it's horrible.
Yeah, that's scary stuff, man.
Yeah,
I know. I
yeah,
mean, meth definitely has taken over. I mean, it's been around forever,
yeah,
and I'm so removed from that whole world now,
yeah.
but I just can't believe it's still going on.
Well,
But
it's
it is.
cheap and easy to make. I mean,
Yep.
I've been taught 5 different ways to make it. I can make it in the
Yeah.
trunk of my car. And this was
Right.
actual official government teaching because I used to clean up meth labs as part of my job.
Wow.
And it's not hard to make at all.
What do you mean you'd clean up meth labs
Like
as
if
part of your job?
the cops had bust a meth lab or whatever, I was part of a
Okay.
hazmat team that would go in and get all that stuff out of there.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
weren't like hired by the meth people to be the cleaning person.
No, that would be an awesome job.
Right?
Oh man. Now you guys have got to keep your beakers in line. Now this is just too much of a mess. I'm going to start
They
charging you
give you the
more.
little maid outfit.
You spilled some lye.
Exactly.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I know. Oh, those days, man. They're
Uh,
crazy. I mean, nobody wants to take a nap.
yeah. Oh
Ex-
man.
exactly. Oh gosh, it's terrible. But I don't know. I'm very far removed from those days, but I do know
Yep.
it still exists, and it's hard to believe. But
Yep. My
the
my big
stories are.
my big thing when I was younger was tequila.
That was a good thing too.
It was
That
till it
was.
wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I,
That's what happens, right?
I won't recount my last tequila experience, but I'll put it to you this way: it has stuck with me for 25 years now, and I have not touched tequila. And when I was younger, I would open a fifth and throw the cap away.
Right.
I quit eating the worm the night I was sitting on my couch, and my coffee table got up and went to the fridge and got a beer and came back. Yeah, I quit eating the worm after that. But yeah, that was
that. Well, you're lucky.
yeah,
You're lucky that you wised up. It's
yep,
like it takes something to have that happen because it's easy to just crawl right back into that worm.
oh yeah,
Uh, I know. I know.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I had to cut all that stuff out too. But life is still a lot of fun, just
It
different.
is, it
It
is.
is. It is.
I'm ready to get back on stage. I do comedy, and we've got some venues here that are doing comedy in Atlanta,
Oh, that's
but
cool.
I don't want to get on stage yet because of this virus. I don't want to kill anybody
Yeah,
with my humor.
yeah.
But
Oh, but clubs are open there?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can hit a stage any night of the week. I can't make myself do it yet because
And do they have full capacity?
no, I think they're like I think it's 50%. I'm not sure,
Right. Right.
but I mean you know how that goes. They'll let people in, but they'll still everybody will get right on top of each other, and it'll be the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. I know. I'm so like it's so weird to me that I know I've been asked to come play in Florida, like Miami and somewhere else on the coast. Like they said, come on down, everything's open. It's just like we're so caught up in everything not being open that it's so hard to even imagine that things are happening.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
I'm just ready
It's
for
very
normal.
strange.
My daughter caused all of this. My oldest one did.
What,
She
that the world was going to take a break?
Yes, she is a big fan of K-pop. Are you familiar with K-pop music?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like Korean?
she is a huge BTS fan, and she has been
Yeah.
trying forever to get tickets. Well, she finally got on the pre-sale list and got tickets when they were coming to Atlanta last year. And 3 days after she got her tickets, lockdown.
Ah.
She still has her tickets. I told her, I said, you need to go on StubHub and sell these things because they are never going to come to Atlanta. They keep saying they're going to postpone the show.
Right. To
I
what,
said,
like 2022?
yeah, I said, they're never coming to Atlanta. You can sell these tickets for a hell of a lot more than you paid for them.
Wow.
And she will not
Wow.
do it. She's like, the money's gone. I'm not sweating it. I'm keeping my tickets. I'm like, you're
Well, they might
insane.
come. They might. You don't think they're going to come?
It'll be a long time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's insane. I would sell those tickets in a heartbeat and get some more when they come if I needed to. But yeah,
Yeah, but she doesn't want to. She wants to see them,
yeah. And
you
plus,
know?
I had a concert I was planning on going to in August. It was going to be Motley Crue, Def Leppard. Um, I think Metallica was going to be there, and Joan Jett.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I am going to this show, and boom, lockdown. I'm like, really?
Right. Yeah, this lockdown really messed things up.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It really has. But we've learned to do different things, you know?
Yep.
I just wonder, well, you said you think it's gonna change and open back up, but we'll
I,
see what happens. I mean, I got to talk to you.
yeah,
That we didn't need a lockdown for that. So, there are still pandemic miracles, I call them.
yeah,
That
exactly.
yeah, still things are happening, but it's a strange time. I did an interview today in England, so like, people are just being creative in their ways of doing things too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. What do I
Yeah,
know? I
I've
just
done several cool interviews with some English people.
yeah,
John Robb, he was so much fun.
that's that's really cool.
Yeah, and who else about that? Will Crutzen, he was great. Chris Jones, Grace Jones's brother.
Oh, I met
He
Grace Jones a few times.
Chris is a mess. He is so much fun.
That's great. Yeah, I can imagine. She is so much fun too.
Hmm. But yeah,
She's
he sings, and it's funny. This doing this show before I started this and started interviewing musicians, I was that old man with the same playlist from 1984,
right.
and everything else is garbage. And I found out that when I'm interviewing somebody, I need to listen to what they've done. It's just respect. And I've gotten so much good music from doing this show, from people that I never even knew of, or even if I knew them, I'm like, I'm not listening to that crap, whatever. And then
Yeah.
I listen, I'm like, holy shit, I've been missing out. But
Well,
yeah,
that's good. That's good that you're figuring that out because there's a lot of fun stuff out there. I hosted a show for many, many years myself, and many, many, many people passed through that show, and a lot of it's on YouTube. And I just go and look, and the magnitude of people that came through and how amazing they were. it's just mind-boggling. The world is full of cool people.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And we just have to celebrate them all because it that's what I don't understand though. I never understand how we haven't figured it all out yet because there's so many great people. Like, why is the world such a mess?
Yeah.
Why can't the good ones figure it out already for everyone?
Yeah. And you know what's really funny is, I interview everybody. I like musicians and actors, that kind of thing. But I mean, I've interviewed, this morning I interviewed Steve Gubb. He owns, uh, dadgummit, Gubba rum. He makes rum for a living. And,
Nice.
things like that. And my kids are like, well, why aren't you just doing famous people? I said, because everybody's got a story.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
they'll listen. They're like, well, that was pretty cool. I remember
Yeah.
I had one lady who wrote what I call trashy romance novels. And I thought, leading up to it, I'm like, how in the hell am I going to make a show out of this? I've never read one of these things. I'm not interested in them. My wife reads them sometimes, and we talked for 2 hours, and it was so much
Wow.
fun. It was a great show.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because
Yeah, you never know what's going to come out of somebody's thing.
yeah, everybody has a story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
So
no,
what's your story?
oh, I'm just me,
Yeah.
just a guy who's old before his time, which I've always been the oldest person in the room, no matter how old everybody was.
Oh, you think so? Do you think you've had past lives?
I don't know about that. I'd like to think I have, but have you ever noticed anybody that like just kind of semi believes in reincarnation was always somebody famous in their past life? I don't think I was famous, but I mean I believe so. I mean we don't know everything about the universe. Anything that happens when we're gone is a guess.
Exactly.
You know
Until we find out if we do.
exactly.
I know. It's true. We only know what we know. And
Yep.
it's so true. I know. It's just one big mystery. That's why we got to just do what we can every day, right?
Yeah.
I've been doing a bunch of acting. I had a great week this week in getting 3 acting gigs. And it's like now
Nice.
I'm like, what's next? I got to play the wicked stepmother in a Cinderella thing this
Uh huh.
past week in a castle in New Jersey. It was
Sweet.
just so much fun. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun to get lost in a character again. Like, and of course the outfit was just so fun, and it was a real castle, and it was the prince's ball, and my stepdaughters were amazing, and all our rehearsals were on Zoom,
Uh
so
huh.
none of us really had any interaction until the day of the event.
Oh man.
And it was beyond, I feel like it was a dream. If I didn't just see the picture of me as the wicked stepmother, I would still not believe that that really happened. And um and then yesterday I was in another play, which was filmed. It was even filmed on Zoom, and I played Frau Trudy. And
Ah.
I can't wait to see how they edit this play that we just filmed on Zoom.
Oh, that'll
So,
be cool.
I mean, I love creative people. They just keep figuring ways to make it work. It's taken a while for things to start up again, but slowly but surely little jobs are coming back, and that's what I mean, how we're learning how to navigate the pandemic. And I feel like once we navigate it 100%,
Hmm.
that's when it's going to be done.
Oh yeah. I bet you would love my YouTube channel.
Oh, I
I
want to see it.
It's
What?
Brad's Comedy. It's all one word with no apostrophe.
Oh, I can't wait. I love
But
comedy.
I have done. It's got some of my stand up, and it's got a couple of these shows on there. But last year I started doing characters down here in my studio,
Oh, I
and
found you. I'm subscribing right now.
the only one I actually knew who he was going to be was Murray the Clown.
Yeah, I just see that. Murray does White Chocolate Challenge.
Yes. Oh, that one's hilarious. That
Okay,
was. Oh, that was a mess. uh,
I'll watch it.
yeah, but this is Murray's voice. Murray was once the appliance king of Parsippany, but he is not like any other clown in the world for sure. But the other characters, I didn't know who they were going to be until I put on the wig or the mustache or whatever is with them, and they just kind of popped out of me. And everything on there is one take and improv.
Don't you love that though?
I
Don't
do.
you love how like
I do.
items can turn you into something else? It's that's why costumes are so great. That's why
Yeah.
when this guy told me I had to take off my makeup and my glasses and my first of all my glasses are prescription. Like I never needed glasses my entire life. I always had like good vision,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden you know what happens, like I can't see anything anymore, and all I wanted was prescription sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's if I was going to have to wear glasses for the rest of my life, I want them to be sunglasses. I'm sorry. So like this
Exactly.
guy's telling me like take off the sunglasses. He doesn't even realize that that's how I see.
Yeah.
You know, and he was just like, I know Lady Gaga did all that stuff and blah, blah. Now I'm like, oh, all right, so I'm being compared to Lady Gaga. I'll take it. I don't mind that. So it's like, but then you turn into like your character.
Yeah.
That's what gives you like, it gives you adrenaline, you know.
Yeah. I actually did a 30-minute Christmas special using some characters. Now, I
How
love Murray
fun.
because Murray is a good outlet. Murray is that dark side that everybody has that nobody wants to admit to.
Yeah.
But I've got one character named Wayne, and his hair, he's got kind of long reddish 70s hair and a big thick bushy mustache. And he wears a Hawaiian shirt, unbuttoned about halfway down, got the hamburger meat hanging out. But
Uh-oh.
his voice is so great. He's so easy to do. It's like, hey baby, this is Wayne. You want to know Wayne's last name? All you need to know is Wayne. I'm all about the love, baby. And
You
he
sound
is,
like Barry White.
yeah. And that was just what came out when I put on that. And I'm like, that's Wayne. And he
That's
is
funny.
so much fun to do. I've got a Southern football coach who never had kids that played football, never had kids, and he never played football. And his name is Dan Graham, and he does it all for the kids. He's that guy. He is so funny.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
See
I
that's great. You have such a good outlet.
and I have Chef Rupert. He's got the big handlebar mustache, and it's funny because of his voice. Everybody assumes he's gay,
Right.
but I've decided, and spoiler alert. The last episode I'm going to do, I've actually talked to my wife about doing this. I'm going to find a bikini model because he always talks about his partner Chris. While he's up there talking and doing his thing, he's going to call Chris up there. She's going to be a hot bikini model wearing a bikini, and he's going to say, "All right, now go in there and make me a sandwich. You better do it right, or you're not getting none of this tonight." And smack her on the ass and send her packing. I think that would be hilarious.
That's really funny.
But yeah, I mean, it is. I love doing those things, and
Yeah. That's really cool.
yeah, I tell
So you
everybody,
got to get back to the comedy club.
I do, I do. I miss doing stand up,
Yeah.
but
That's it's good. Stand up is not easy. I mean, you're alone and you're up there with the mic and like that's it.
yeah, I mean, and I like doing small rooms. Big rooms obviously are fun because duh, but
Right.
in a big room, if one person laughs, it kind of gets infectious and everybody laughs. In a small room, you earn that shit.
Yeah, I like small rooms too. I always say
Yeah,
the quality crowd.
yeah,
Yeah. I like performing to the quality crowd. The
yeah,
quantity crowd is not the same.
yeah. So like I say, one person claps or whatever, everybody does. But in a small
Yeah.
room, you get applause or a laugh, you've earned it because people don't
Exactly.
follow that crowd.
Yep. I agree. I totally agree.
And the most fun I have, the best feeling in the world. I don't know if y'all get it as musicians. I've been on stage before and just gotten in that little pocket in my little groove, and I'm so deep into that I don't hear anybody laugh.
Yeah.
I watched the video and I can see it, but I'm so into that I don't actually hear it, and that is just the neatest little groove to get into.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do it for.
Yeah, I mean,
That's when you're in that, there's nothing better.
yeah. People talk about performance as a drug. It is. There is
It is.
nothing like that.
No, when you're in the zone, it's magical.
Yeah.
All your aches and pains go away.
Yep. It's just
Nothing. Yeah, you're just feeling joy.
yeah.
It's true.
And
Yep.
it's funny. The first time, like I said, I've been doing comedy almost 30 years. I've never done it really hard. I just do it at my pace. I just have fun with it. And I had never been in that zone, and a couple of years ago, I got invited to a show in Atlanta by a friend of mine called The South's Funniest Doctors. And it was all doctors and me. He said, I'm a ditch doctor. Oh, okay, cool. And he said, please keep the show clean because he's a born again Christian, which is cool. He's a great guy, whatever. And I,
Right.
I respect that, okay. And I mean, the show was so clean. I think I used the word crap in one of my lines when we were rehearsing. He said, can you please change that one word? I'm like, not a problem, dude. But my 16-year-old daughter got to come see my show live, and that was so cool. And that's the first time I ever got in a little zone. And it's like, that's
Uh,
awesome.
right.
But yeah, she
Yeah.
thought that was so neat to see Dad on stage because she'd seen videos and everything, but it's just not the same.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it's neat
Yeah.
when they get to see when I get to work, because they know what I do. They know I'm a comedian. They know I'm a paramedic. But we were coming back from Savannah one day. We'd been on vacation down there, and we were on the interstate, and we looked up, and there's a car on its side off the road. So I pull over, and nobody's made it there yet. So I'm taking care of this guy. Ambulance gets there. I'm like, I'm a medic. They said, we can tell you're helping us. I'm like, not a problem. Helped him get him out of the car, got him in the back of the ambulance. I'm starting IVs and stuff, and the helicopter lands probably 50 feet in front of my car. They shut down the interstate. And I got back in the car because I went over and helped load the guy into the helicopter while it was still running.
Wow.
And I got back in the car, and we got back on the road, and my kids are like, have you ever done that before? I'm like, I do that all the time. They're like, really? I said, yeah. They said, that is the coolest thing. They thought that was so neat getting to see me walk under that helicopter and help somebody.
Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice.
But yeah, that was, and it to me, it's just a day. I've done it so many times, and
Right.
it's funny how you take for granted what you do. And they,
Yeah.
they kind of helped me realize this is a special thing. But
Yeah. That's pretty cool though.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Wow.
And oddly enough, I've never flown,
Oh, really?
never been off the ground.
Wow. So
Yeah.
now I bet you won't.
Well, we had one of our services in Augusta had its own helicopter, and I worked up in Lincoln County, which is a real rural place. And they flew over there to do a class for us one evening, and they offered some PR flights where it'd take you up and fly you around, make you call them more. And I knew the pilot. His name was Graham, and he is an old school Vietnam pilot. And he asked me, he said, you want to go up in a PR flight? And I like, hell no. He said, why not? I said, one, I ain't getting up in no helicopter with you because your goal will be to see how bad you can terrify me, and I damn well ain't doing it at night. He said, you caught me.
Wow.
But
I've never
yeah,
been in a helicopter, but I've been in an airplane many, many times.
yeah, never even been in an airplane.
Wow.
Yep.
Do you have any desire?
Yeah, if need comes up, I'll get in one. It ain't fear that keeps me out of it. I just don't go anywhere. I've,
Yeah.
I've gotten older and turned into a homebody.
Well, you're superstitious. Are you afraid of flying?
Nah,
Okay.
nah. I've worked a hell of a lot more car crashes and people hit by cars than I have plane crashes.
Well, that's what they say. They say that, you know, planes are safer.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I'm not afraid of it. Like I say, I'm cheap, and two, I just don't go anywhere that I need to fly. But once all this is over, I'm going to California, and
Oh,
I'm
there you
and
go.
I'm coming to New York because I want to meet the people that I've been talking to.
New York. You've never been to New York?
I have not.
Wow.
My
And
goal is
will you fly to California?
oh yeah,
Will you fly to New York?
oh yeah,
Oh, there you go. So you're
yeah.
getting brave.
No, I got no beef with flying. Like I said, I've just never had a reason to.
Okay.
But
All
my
right.
my
Well,
goal for New York is to come up when they do the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center and bring
yes.
my wife because she's
Well, they
always
did it
wanted to
this
see
year,
it.
but it was weird.
That was a weird looking tree.
Yeah,
It
it
looked
was
like
weird
Charlie
this
Brown
year.
on steroids.
It was a weird year. They didn't even let people get too close, but like you could get like on the outskirts. It's so dumb. Like some of it just makes no sense, and
Yeah,
I mean, it was like outdoors, and you could go to the like where they had it lined out, like or whatever the words are, but you couldn't go close. What's the difference? I don't even you're outside. That's what I
Yeah,
mean. Like there's
what are you
some
gonna
of the
get the
things.
tree sick?
Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand some of the rules and regulations. They just don't make sense. But I'm not going to argue with anyone. It's just like I said earlier, like why do they close the restaurants at 10 o'clock? Like,
Hmm.
what happens? Does the COVID boogeyman come out? Like,
Well,
you know,
what tickles me is to walk into a restaurant here, you have to wear your mask. But once you get inside and sit down, you don't have to wear a mask anymore.
yeah, like when you're eating, you have permission to not wear a mask.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know. That's another weird thing. Now restaurants are asking, I mean, the last time I was outdoor dining, they said, can you put your mask on when the server comes?"
Hmm.
That at least made more sense in a strange, weird way because you're
Yeah.
sitting with people at the table. So I
Yeah.
mean, supposedly anyway. The whole
Yeah.
thing is just bizarre, but we're doing what we can. But have you seen a lot of COVID people?
I've seen a lot of COVID people. A lot. I actually just lost a friend to COVID a week ago.
So sorry.
Yeah,
Wow.
went home to Thompson about 3 weeks ago. He owned a cigar shop there, and he had a little travel humidor waiting on me. So I went to pick it up, and I said, "Well, fill it with five, whatever you picks." And so he had really good taste in cigars, and he put them in there, and he got a lighter out and put in there too. And I'm like, "Okay, cool. What I owe you?" He said, "Well, the class of '89 discount and the paramedic discount, nothing." And he would not
Wow.
take my money. He would not do it. And
Aw, that's so sweet.
yeah, we sat and talked for about an hour. I mean, he was fine, perfectly healthy. That next Saturday, he got to feeling bad and went to the ER. He had just had a negative test that Friday, and he got feeling bad and went to the ER. And by Monday, he was gone.
I know, oh, that's so sad. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to hear about that. But it reminds me of a friend of mine, the person who did my website that you were just looking at, ruinwho.com.
Hmm.
I don't even know how to get in there because the person who did my website was this very dear friend of mine named Chick. And Chick was living in North Carolina. He's been there for many years. We'd only like talk through the computer because we didn't need to really talk. He's made music videos for me. He's done so many artistic projects. We were like artistic brother and sister. Like he did so much for me.
Hmm.
And right after Thanksgiving, he didn't feel well, and he got tested, and it was positive. So he went to the ER, and they told him to go home and quarantine. And he went home, and he died in his sleep that night.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh
Yeah.
my God. I mean, some people just get it and they go real fast.
Yeah.
I know. And
Yeah.
then other people get it and it's like nothing.
Yeah. I'm just ready
I
for it
know.
to be out of here. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, well, how many people do you see like in a week with it? Like, is it bad down there?
Right now, it's not as bad as it was, but I mean, at one point, our hospital, we don't have a big morgue there to begin with. It just has
Right,
two drawers because it's a small county hospital. But at one point, we had a refrigerated 18 wheeler outside that was serving as our morgue.
right.
I
That
mean,
was
it was,
happening in a lot of places. Yeah,
yeah,
only one 18 wheeler.
yeah.
That's
It
well,
was,
ugh,
yeah.
so scary.
I
And it was
mean,
all COVID, COVID, COVID.
yeah,
See, I just don't get it. Like, I feel like people that don't experience that don't take it seriously.
yeah. And I mean, I've seen it take young people that were healthy, old people who were sick, straight
Yeah,
people, gay people, white, black.
yeah.
It don't care who you are.
No, it doesn't. Yep, exactly. Well, you stay safe.
I'm gonna try hard.
Yeah. Now, I mean, that makes sense why you were sleeping downstairs for that time, but it just seems different now. Like we're realizing that it doesn't spread like they were telling you the groceries and
Oh
at the
yeah.
beginning it was just like everything. Like I have a friend who's a nurse, and she was just like she would come home and like take a shower before she even walked in the house, like at her job, and then come home and leave all the clothes outside before she went in, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
just like now she's like so different. She's just has such a different approach. Like it's the fear factor is just so different for her now, and she just says, yeah, if I go into a room where, and but the thing that was really weird, she works in New Haven, Connecticut, in the hospital, like near Yale,
Mm-hmm.
and she said when it was all COVID, that's when it was like at the height and it was all scary. She said then all of a sudden, like after a few months, like it just totally dropped and there were no other patients. And then all of a sudden, like all the COVID patients like disappeared and the hospital was all full with regular patients.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't even know how it happened. Like it was just there were no patients anywhere but COVID. And then just slowly it just flipped.
Yeah.
And now there's like maybe like one hallway that has COVID, and then the whole hospital has everybody else. Like, where did they come from?
Yeah. It's weird.
It
I'm ready for it to
is.
be out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, we have
It's
gone for almost an hour and a half.
yeah. I just looked at the clock. I know. So, what are you making for dinner? And then we'll go.
Probably gonna just put some chicken in the oven. Nothing fancy tonight. But
That's good.
yeah, because I've still got a couple more interviews to do today.
Oh,
I told Eileen, I gave her a bunch of times for today. I said, I haven't talked to anybody in a month. Hook me up, and she did.
good for her. She's great.
She
Eileen is
is.
amazing.
Her and Jimmy are just the bomb. There's
They
nothing
really
I wouldn't
are.
do for them too.
Yeah, Jimmy and Eileen, they're amazing. They really, really are. I love them.
Yep,
They've been super helpful with this To Sir with Love to get us to feed the children. So I hope you watch the video, and I hope
definitely.
just by watching it, you are donating 10 cents to feed the children.
And,
So it's a great thing. And
and
do you know the movie To Sir with Love, right?
oh yeah, I saw it in the drive-in.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Because, some people haven't, but if you did, then I'm grateful.
yeah, and we're actually when I do the show notes on this, I'm going to put a link to the video in there too. So
Sounds good to me. That
yeah.
would be amazing. Because our thing is going through till December 8th.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we're hoping we'll get 10,000 views for Feed That. That's our goal.
Well, sweet. Well, hopefully this show
Yeah.
will help that happen.
So I thank you so much for talking with me, and I will do your drawing in the next few days, and I will tag you in it,
Sweet.
and you will see your polar bear playing a Telecaster.
Actually,
Now remember, I am a professional beginner at
actually,
everything I
instead of
do.
a polar bear, Bigfoot.
Oh, now you want to change it on me? That's funny. Bigfoot was a little joke in the play that I just was Frau Trudy, because
Oh,
I was a museum owner in Strange America. That's where
ah,
we were. And all right, and Bigfoot. There's a Bigfoot museum.
yeah, we've got one here in Georgia.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Because there's one out west too.
yeah,
Wow. So
yeah.
there's a few Bigfoot museums. All right. So you want Bigfoot playing a Telecaster?
Yes. My guitar strap actually has a silhouette of Bigfoot on it that says, I believe.
Okay. Well, you believe anything.
Oh, yeah.
I do too. My kids always say, Ma, you're so gullible. But truthfully, I have a saying. I believe everything and nothing.
Exactly.
Everybody tells me.
Hey, I used to ghost hunt, so
Oh, yeah,
that's me in a
exactly.
nutshell.
And that's me too. I
Yeah.
believe everything and nothing.
And what's really creepy is, when I do these, normally what I'll do is I'll record the episode, and then I'll go back and I'll record an intro, put my background music and all that. I did Stacy Toy, and with hers, after I put it together, I was the only one here in the house, no TVs, anything on. She was the same way at her house. I called an EVP. When I started it, you could hear when I said, "How are you doing, Stacy?" You heard a voice in the background whisper, "I can hear him." It was
Whoa.
wild.
Wow, the ghosts were there. It was Bigfoot.
Yes, the ghost of Bigfoot, no less.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
that was so wicked. I'm like, holy shit! I've caught one on my show. That's pretty cool.
That's amazing. I love it. I love
Oh
it.
yeah. Well,
All right, Mr. Pittman.
all right. Well, if you need anything, all you gotta do is call me. Anything you need to promote, holler at me. We'll do it.
That sounds like a beautiful thing. I appreciate it. And you have a wonderful night with your wonderful pigs and your lovely family. And I look forward to staying in touch.
Definitely, definitely. Well, you
All
take
right.
care.
You too.
All
Take it easy.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.